පාටම සද්දයක් අයියෙන් එකක් වගේ පිපුරුවක් වගේ පාටම පස් කන්දියක් කඩාගෙන දිග්ගල වැටෙන ඉච්චරයි දැනුනේ අපිට. සකෝ දුමක් වගේ ආවා කොහෙටවත් අපිට දුව ගන්න බැරි වුණා. උඩට එන්න පැනගෙන එනකොටම මගේ කොණ්ඩෙන් පල්ලයට පස් කන්දක් වැටලා තිබ්බේ. සිරිමි කට්ටිය වගේ දැකලා මාව ඒ පස් කන්ද කපලා අරගෙන උස්සලා ගෙනාවේ ඉච්චිතාලට. අල්ල කාමර ලයින් 6ක් තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් 500කටත් වැඩි ආද මිනිස්සු හිටියා. පොඩි ළමයි ඉන්න කට්ටිය ඔක්කොමලා කියා ගන්න බැරි තරම් කට්ටිය ගෙදර හිටියේ. අම්මා ගෙදරකම ළමයි හිටියා. මිනිස්සු ඔක්කොමලා හිටියා. මගේ ළමයි 4 දෙනා උදේ ඉස්කෝලේ ආරියා. මහත්තයා නිකපොතට වැඩට ගියා. මගේ අම්මයි මගේ ලෝහණෙන්දයි නැති වුණා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම යට වෙලා
අනා අපේ ගම අපි එළියට ආවා. එළියට ආව ගම අපි 10 යනකම දැනගමු තගල් දුවගෙන දුවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ දුවගන්න බැරුණා. අපි ඔක්කොම යට වුණා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම යට වෙලා ඔක්කොම නෑ දැන් අපි අනිත් කෙනෙකුත් නැතුණා. ගොඩක් කෙනෙක් තියෙනවා ඒක. අපේ පස්සේ නෑ මගේ අයියායි මල්ලි පුතාලා තුන්දෙනෙක් ඔක්කොම හිටියා. පුතාලා තුන්දෙනා අයියාලා ඔක්කොම පන්සලට වගේ දුවලා ගියා. ඒකට අපි ගියා කියලා ආවා. අපෝ දග්ගල කොලා මේ යනවා. එනගම අපි දක්කල පාලට දුවා ගන්න බැරුණා. ඒක අපේ එක්කනේ මම යට වෙලා ගිහලා පොඩක් දුරට ගිහලා තමයි නැගිටලා බැලුවේ මෙච්චර දුරට ආවා කියලා. ඒ මට සෑහෙන තුවාලයක් කියලා මම ඉස්තිගාලා ඉන්නේ දැන් ඉන්නේ.
Now the voices that you heard were those affected in a tragic incident where a landslide buried a village in the Haldamulla area. We have a detailed story on this later on in the bulletin, but first let's take a look at your headlines. A row of line houses in the Meerabadi area in Haldamulla buried owing to a landslide. 3 bodies recovered. 152 individuals missing after line house was buried owing to a landslide in the Kosland area. A statement by Minister Mahinda Samaravira. 35 houses inundated owing to heavy rainfall. An earth embankment causes damage to the Valapana-Nuveli main road. And on international news, US rocket explodes during launch. Now on to those stories in detail. A row of 7 line houses have been buried owing to the landslide which extends over 1.5 kilometers. The incident occurred at around 7:30 this morning.
කරන්ට් අර කම්බියක අයින් මේ සද්දයක් ආවා. එතකොට කට්ටිය කිව්වා අපිට දුවන්න කියලා. අපිට දුම ආවා අයියෙන්. අපි දුවලා ආවා. ඊට පස්සේ මොකද වුනේ? දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොකක්ද දැක්කේ ඊට පස්සේ?
Meanwhile, Minister of the DMC stated that 150 persons still remain missing while 3 bodies were recovered from this tragic incident.
Along with the landslide reported in Kosland, around 70 line houses, 10 rooms and 3 houses have been inundated. Around 150 persons have been reported missing in the area. The ministry together with the army are approaching the affected areas to provide relief. Our officers have already been dispatched to the area and areas spanning around 3 kilometers have been inundated owing to landslides. I also wish to state that we had issued prior warnings to the people in these areas to evacuate in 2005 and 2012. However, this misfortune had taken place because they did not take our request into consideration. Although 150 persons have been reported missing, only 3 bodies have been recovered.
Meanwhile, the Assistant Director of the DMC, Pradeep Kodipilli, noted that rescue operations are currently underway.
So as per the District Disaster Management Unit, they have given some information regarding the landslide over the Kosland area. So around 120 houses been completely damaged due to the landslide over in that particular area. So that is 3 houses need to be included for the officers as well. The data is being updated so far. So military and police and District Disaster Management Unit and all the volunteers and District Secretary officials in fully coping with that situation. Still the data is updating, so we can give more data as per updation.
Now, in the latest incident, it has been reported that 10 bodies have been recovered in this tragic incident. Now, let's take a look at some of the other weather-related incidents that occurred across the island.
According to the prevailing weather condition, last night the National Building Research Organization issued a landslide early warnings in few areas, especially in Badulla, Bandara and Ella Divisional Secretariat areas, and especially Ella Vellavaya Road, Abdullah Beregal Road, Beregala Vellavaya Road, Badulla Spring Valley Road, Paskara Lunugula Road, and Etampikia Valimada Road. And there are some incidences along, especially Ella Vellavaya Road. Road was blocked and few vehicles were trapped into this blocking mass. According to our district officers' information, they are cutting failures, and also there are some incidences along railway line at Demodara station, and also some incidences have been recorded in Badulla Bandaravilla Road. So we would like to advise the people during few days there are heavy showers and rains in those areas, and we would like to advise the people to minimize the use of roads where there are a lot of constructions and high cutting, and to be vigilant and alert about the prevailing situation in hilly.
Now, that was the Senior Geologist of Landslide and Disaster Management Unit, Dr. Game Jayatissa. Meanwhile, upcountry railway services have been disrupted due to landslides in Alla Demodara. The railway control room said that the train which set off from Colombo to Badulla has been obstructed near Demodara owing to landslides. The railway control room also noted that train services to upcountry have been limited to Bandaravilla. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organisation has issued an advisory to Nuwara, Kandy and Badulla districts of the threat of landslides occurring in these areas. Now, moving on to other local news, UPF parliamentarian Nama Rajapaksa says that the 2015 budget which was presented in Parliament is a budget aimed for the future. He made this statement at an event held in the Angruwat area in Bulat Sinhala.
This is a budget aim for the future, although few believe that this is like an inflated balloon. Most people, including few from the UMP, see this as a budget targeting the upcoming election. They even ask us if this is a budget to obtain votes. Even when we construct one by road or a main road, it is though one budget that we forecast as to how much must be allocated to create the next road, which in turn ties to the next budget. We have constructed power plants, we have created new water projects, but we can't expect the return to come within the next 2 years. This will take time. Those who are benefiting from this right now are our brothers and sisters.
Now on to other local news. The seal on office premises of the Vice President of Colombo Municipal Council has been lifted off. Seals were taken off according to order issued by the Colombo Magistrate Court. The office premises were sealed owing to an assault that took place between the President and Vice President of the Colombo Municipal Council. Now getting back to one of the weather updates, Brigadier Vaniga Surya, the spokesperson for the Army, noted that rescue operations are being carried out with the intervention of security forces in the Haldamulla area.
Meanwhile, a group of persons who were trapped owing to a landslide which occurred along the Alla Vallavaya area has been rescued. Assistant Director of the Badulla District Secretariat, ELM Uday Kumar, stated that they were able to relocate them to a safe location last night with the assistance of the Army. However, those who were trapped in the landslide last night, speaking in Newsfirst, noted that they were stranded for a few hours before being rescued. Meanwhile, Assistant Director of the Badulla DMC noted that around 100 families from the Badulla District Secretariat have been displaced owing to the Badulla Oya overflowing. Noted District Secretary DPG Kumarasiri says that sluice gates of the Vimala Sundara tank has been opened due to heavy showers experienced in the area. Meanwhile, railway services along the Alla Demodara railway line has come to a standstill owing to a landslide which occurred in the area. Chief Operator of the Railway Control Room, DV Gunapala, stated that travel along the upcountry railway line will only be limited to Bandaravilla. Meanwhile, our correspondent noted that 3 roads along the area has been closed owing to rock slides and landslides which occurred in 22 areas in Gampola. Meanwhile, the National Building Research Organisation has issued an advisory to Nuwara, Kandy and Badulla districts of the threat of landslides occurring in the areas.
Now to other local news, 7 suspects who were arrested in connection to an assault of a group of Sabaragama University students who were engaging in a satyagraha was released on bail, subsequent to being presented before the Balangura Magistrate Court yesterday. The magistrate has ordered that each suspect will be released on a personal bond of ₹250,000. 5 suspects were said to have been already placed in remand on a prior occasion, while the other 2 suspects were taken into custody last night and were later produced before court. Meanwhile, a group of Sabaragama University students engaged in a silent protest opposite the Balangura police. Meanwhile, a number of residents engaged in a protest to support the hunger strike initiated by a Buddhist monk in Ratnapura Amblipitiya main road. They engaged in a protest requesting the reconstruction of the Panahadua Saligama road. The crowd was dispersed after Sabaragama Provincial Council Minister of Road Development Atula Kumara Rahubadda promised to reconstruct the road. And well, that's a wrap for this edition of Lunchtime News, but make sure to log in for the latest update on www.newsfirst.lk. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Katharina Chang. Have a lovely day ahead.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.